Hey, okay, so I'm really excited about this little thing I'm about to bring you because it came out of a real desire to make sure that we were giving our audience, our clientele, exactly what they need to succeed with the knowledge base that we're giving them. And what we know over here at CSE is that it doesn't matter how many webinars you go to, how many, tactical pieces you learn as a creative business owner. If you don't have some foundational mindset and some foundational values structure going on, and if you don't know how to actually lean into those things with your behavior, you're going to fail at the techniques that you're given. And so I'm sure you may have had this experience yourself where you learn something that's really important and you get it, and then you try to implement it and you only get so far. This training right now, this little thing I put together for you, is to break that problem, is to fix that problem, and to close that gap between knowing information that we need to instill, a pathway like a marketing funnel or a sales conversation or how to price something, and actually having success selling it and working with the client and having them repeat with you. So this is really critical training. It's basically the only thing that you really need to have in place in order to create and capture those high ticket clients and get those really great, juicy, ongoing results, the loyalty in a client, a repeat sale. So listen up, it's really helpful. I put it together just so we can close that gap between training that you might be getting and results that you might be wanting. So go ahead and check it out. We are going to be leaning into the first concept of this little series in this next video. And then we'll be leaning into each individual point. So you're going to learn some very specific little tweaks that are going to make a world of difference for you. I hope you like it. What we value informs our thoughts and our actions. Our values form our behavior. And this is the critical thing we want you to keep looking at, is what we think is important. And a lot of times that's not so, it's a bit, let's say, unconscious at first. But whatever we think is important or have been taught to think is important is going to actually affect our behavior. So our future grows in that soil of our values. Very important to think about that. So when we align our thoughts and actions with very carefully chosen values, our behavior changes, and so do the results that we get. Now, a lot of people aren't really used to consciously choosing value. We really tend to be almost co-opted by our parents' values, our community's values, our, let's say, socioeconomic social set, our friends and our culture's values. We get very co-opted by those things. Basically, values can operate, we can often operate with values that have been implanted in us, right? Not that we consciously chose. So while you may have thought about this, practically, and you may have thought, oh yes, what I value matters, have you actually made a point of practicing or actually choosing values and then practicing behavior that's in alignment with those values? I thought I had, but when I had to start learning new values, to start valuing certain things that were very uncomfortable and ran against a value that had been instilled in me, well, then I had a problem. And it wasn't until I was able to actually honor the business value or the business success, and frankly, it goes way beyond business success, but a value that I wasn't so comfortable with instead of the value I was used to, that I was able to make massive progress in certain areas that were critical for my business success and for the success of my clients. And that's what we're here to teach you today. So we want you to be learning how to take out those implanted values that were put there by the people who have raised us, or maybe even by ourselves when we were beginning to see what would be safe or not safe out in the world. So we can actually, as kids, as young people, implant those values for ourselves. We want to watch that. And our job here today is to identify what are the values that are going to actually make a difference. And we're going to choose and live into those values very wisely. So identify values to live by that will help you reach your goals. That's our goal today. Values in practice impact not only you, but also other people, right? So just know that. Sometimes people think that values are something that it's sort of how you be generous in the world, how you show up in the world for and with others. But that's not true. Values are not just that, but also how you operate with yourself, and frankly, with yourself first. So your value always, whatever you value, always encompasses and includes you in the picture. You do not live value for others only. You and others will both benefit from a well chosen and well lived value. So know that it's not just about doing stuff for other people, it's about doing things that will impact you directly right away. Great. So now you know why values. You know that it's really important to choose them. You know that it's really important to also lean in and practice them. And now you also know that very key set of business values that we know, those particular values that we know make a big difference in terms of business success. So now we want to go ahead and lean into each one of them. You can check us out in the next videos, one per value. I can't wait to see you there.